Dudes Who Bet Sports.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Sports. Welcome back to another Wednesday here on the show. We're in the middle of summer now, 4th of July over with. So this is the dog days, right? Isn't that what they call it in baseball? The dog days of summer?
It's definitely the dog days. We don't have anything to watch except baseball.
Yeah.
And neither one of us are huge watchers of TV baseball. So we're just kind of floating through July until we can get to August when camps open for college and pros. And then football's really going to get rolling. So we got 2 or 3 more weeks to get through.
So I was counting backwards. So next week, July 16th, we're going to have to dream up something like I did today and like you did last week, right? The 23rd and the 30th, I think we could do major conference win totals and kind of get into the college football, kind of preview, right?
Yeah.
Then it gets to August. So August 6th and 13th, we could kind of do the NFL and everything that goes on with that, previews of NFC, AFC, and then we've got games that next week. So we are about got it.
We just got a couple more weeks to get through.
Yeah. Pedla says we want to talk about Colonial Downs. Not on this one. Not on this show. No, I'm not going to do that. But
no, we're not doing it today.
Yep. All right. Well, Pedlo may like what we're talking. Well, he may not, or may. I don't know.
And he may have some inside info.
He could have some inside info. Could help us today. So my thought. So yesterday, and I'm sure most of you listening missed it or don't care, and that's okay. We're going to talk kind of large scale, but use this as kind of our case study because we've seen it up close and personal. Mm-hmm. What's happened with college athletics, obviously has affected us, big time being Oklahoma. But longtime Oklahoma athletic director Joe Castiglione is going to retire. End of the season, he is going to retire. And I think I'm not surprised by that, but it's just another, in my opinion, I looked at it as kind of another example of kind of the old guard of college athletics. One by one, they're dropping, whether it's coaches or administrators.
No, there's no question about it. I wasn't surprised either. Now, we do have to weigh into the fact he is 67.
For sure. Yeah.
No, it's not all that.
No.
But I think he's fed up with the way it's going, as so many of us are. And I think he probably decided, you know what? I don't know if you heard his press conference. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. He's a class individual. He's been catching some heat from some of these idiots down in Oklahoma.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And we haven't talked about it on the show, but nothing could be more stupid than to get onto this guy. I mean, he's what Oklahoma's all about. And then they've been mad about the football hiring and all of this crap. And God, what's this guy done for the University of Oklahoma since he's been there? I heard how many national championships there have been under his regime. I thought they said 36 or 32 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I may be off a little on that, but that's a bunch.
I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot. When he got to Oklahoma, they were in shambles, basically.
Oh, because the football program was a mess.
Yes, and he will be considered the best AD in the history of the school, without any doubt.
Well, there's no... Yeah.
It's not close.
It's not.
What he did for Oklahoma is amazing, and I will give him. I'm gonna give him a ton of credit, not only for that run, but the one criticism I would have with him is he was not ready or the university wasn't ready, or both, for what happened with college athletics. Like they weren't, they weren't, but they've done in my opinion, Oklahoma's done a magnificent job the last year and a half, I would say, of getting to a spot where they now are. And
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
But there was no blueprint to go by. Everybody was on their own.
And some handled it better than Oklahoma handled it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But I think they got caught a little bit with their pants down, and I just think they thought they could carry on because of the tradition and everything else.
Yep.
And yes, Curtis, idiots
in
OU are now fans, not the university, but
No.
fans were critical of him
Mhm.
because of the basketball situation, which our current coach is a great coach, but he was put in an impossible situation. Didn't have any NIL money to go out and buy players.
Right.
And now they've kind of improved that. And the hiring of the football coach has been an issue.
Yeah.
No matter where you want to go with that. But I just think there's no blueprint to follow. I think you were on your own on this. How do you do this? I mean, I was sitting back thinking the other day, how in the world could you ever prepare for what is going on?
Yeah. Well, I agree with Pedlo. I think OU handled it. I think OU they got caught. Here's my. This is just an opinion based on kind of what I've heard, based on what I've seen with my eyes, and based on what's happened now. I don't think OU really thought it was going to get to this point, right?
No.
Where a softball player, it's going to take $1 million to get that player. Like I think OU, they got caught in a situation where most of the people that were making the big time decisions at OU were older people like Joe Castiglione. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of feel like they kind of knew it was coming, but it's not going to be that big a deal. Mm-hmm. It's not that big of a concern. When in turn, it was a huge concern, and they got caught, and that's why Porter Moser and even Brent Venables really, as much as I've kind of been critical of both of them at times in the moment, like your emotions and after games and stuff like that, they really haven't had a fair fight in this thing yet. But what I have seen in the last, let's say, year and a half, I would say year and a half is about accurate. I might be off a few months here or there. Whether it's been the doing of Joe Castiglione or the doing of the university or everybody working together, it has totally changed. They were able to get the number one women's basketball player in the country, and they were found $1 million for her. That never would have happened.
No.
Getting John Mateer never would have happened before. Yeah. They have totally changed, and it's going to work. But it's what you said. I think Joe Castiglione was part of the getting us up to speed.
Oh, he
deserves credit for it.
He figured it out.
He did. It took a while, and he deserves criticism for that. But I think we're back. But I think the problem is with the older people that used to be kind of in charge of things, not just Joe Castiglione, not just Oklahoma. This is where it gets like kind of nationwide.
Oh, yeah.
They've adapted. A lot of them have adapted, but then they look at what it is, and they go, I hate this. And I think that is where he's at right now. And I'm putting words in his mouth. He certainly didn't say that, but that's the reality of it.
It is, because who wouldn't hate it? Who would not
hate it? We'll get into why I hate it as well, but
I absolutely hate it. And I don't know why. I don't know how a head football coach keeps his sanity. I don't know.
I don't either. I think the head football coach is the hardest job because they have so many bodies that A, they have to manage, and B, that they absolutely need. Where when you look at basketball, it's still a headache, but you're dealing with 5 or 6 or 7.
Let's throw out a hypothetical here. Okay. This to me would be there's so many things, but this is so hard. Okay, let's say, just for the hell of it, they give you $20 million for your new recruits. You have $20 million to spend on your 2026 recruiting class. Okay, that's what you have. Let's just say it works like that. I don't know if it does, but let's just say it does. How in the hell are you going to figure out how to distribute that money?
Well, honestly, Oklahoma was late to the party, in my opinion, this as well. The head coach can't. He simply, most head coaches can't do that.
They don't have
a front office. No, every big time football program now has a front office that deals with that.
But still, how did they determine it?
Because they're hiring people that
I know
that had to deal with a salary cap or had to deal with this or that. You're not you're not necessarily hiring anymore.
Right.
You have one guy that's kind of like the GM, but a lot of the other people, they're there to manage that.
They're
Like
evaluating and things like that.
Like
What
the
I'm saying
OU hired the former CEO of AT&T, and he's making a lot of decisions.
Yeah, he is.
And he's making decisions as a businessman because
Exactly.
that's what you have to have.
Right. But what I'm getting at is, okay, you got this kid over here, you got this kid over here, you got this kid over here, you got this kid over here. Okay, how do you decide what you're going to offer each one of those kids?
Mm-hmm.
And what if you screw up? What if you go in after a big time quarterback and you go, okay, here's $2 million. So there goes 10% of your budget, and you fail. He's not any good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's hard enough to go out and get these kids to come and play for you. But now you got to worry about how much is Texas going to give this kid? How much is Texas A&M going to give this kid? How much is LSU going to give this kid?
You can't.
And how do we rate him? I mean, you not only now have to rate the talent, you got to look at the 20 kids you're recruiting and go, okay, who gets the most?
Yeah.
Who the hell can decide that? I mean, you're going to miss on that. You're going to miss.
You have a whole staff. The head coach is not deciding that. I mean, he may have a say in it, but
he's got a say in it because he's the one that.
Yes, but
I think he would have to be the final say. He's the coach.
Basically, what's happening is like he's recruiting the guys, and him and the GM are working to recruit the guys, and then that gets worked out, and you either get them or you don't. I mean,
to me that would be the hardest thing. How in the hell do you determine who gets what?
Yeah.
What a fiasco!
They're running it just like the NFL. These schools, and they have to.
But the other thing is, then you got to mesh all of these players together, and this kid over here is getting 50,000, and this kid over here is getting 500,000, and this $50,000 kid may be playing 10 times better than the 500,000. And how do you keep that all straightened out in the locker room? You got to be a freaking genius.
I mean, why? In my opinion, why do you think we see so many, week to week injuries that they never come back?
And they don't come back because they're so pissed on. I'm not playing it anymore. I don't like this guy. Or it's ruined it. Football, I think, is the worst because there's so many players that you have to replace every year, and it's just I have no interest in it. Well, I can't say that. I have interest in it, but not like I did.
I think that like the passion for it for me is gone. Like I'm still gonna watch, cheer, whatever, but it's just like I don't know. It's just like down deep. It's like I know this is kind of gross. It
is. It's all about money now.
Yeah, and I can't stand it.
I can't either. You had to be kind of naive to think there wasn't money being spent under the table.
100%, 100%.
But it wasn't right out in front of you like it is now.
Yeah.
So all of the innocence of college football is gone.
Yeah.
And it's all a money thing now, and there are no rules, and it's so hard to win anyway.
Yeah.
And now you've added all this other stuff. It's just not the same. It's not.
I made a huge mistake in assuming that because I think the players should be paid, but I made a huge mistake in assuming that the NCAA could handle it.
Yeah.
Well, I made a mistake assuming that the NCAA would have a plan for all of it. They don't. But again, that was stupid on my part because who's in charge of the NCAA? Old guys that have been doing it forever.
Well, are they doing anything? I don't see.
No. And
I think the other thing is, did we ever think they would be making this much money?
I think it was naive to think they wouldn't be.
Well, I never thought it would get to where you're making more money in college
Well,
then
that's
you
fair.
would be the first year of the NFL for a lot
That's
of these
fair.
guys.
Okay. I did not think it would
I
get
would
that
like
far.
to know. Okay, the rumor was Dylan Gabriel at Oregon got $3 million to play at Oregon.
Right.
I would love to know what he's getting paid as the backup, one of the backup quarterbacks at Cleveland. I bet he's not getting $3 million.
And there's another example of where OU was, where they are now. I really truly believe if that happened now, I think they could
would keep him.
At least have a chance.
When
When he got that offer, they didn't even. It was just like, okay.
I don't think they thought he was worth $3 million. That's what I think.
But here's the problem. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. But what I think they had to make a decision where they had this other guy.
Yeah.
They thought he was going to be a superstar. They wouldn't have to pay him as much, probably.
Yeah.
And they were wrong. And I said it at the time, you don't go with an unproven guy when you got a proven guy going into the SEC. You pay him if you can.
Yeah.
But I don't think they thought he was worth it. And I think I don't know the whole story. None of us do.
No.
Dylan may not have want to stay, but I think he would have if they had come up with as much money as Oregon came up with.
Yep.
Right? So it's all
we'll never know, but I mean, I to me, like the way I read that situation was like, oh wow, they offer you more than we would ever. So go ahead.
And they can blame whoever they want to on that. That was a major reason we went 6-7 last year. We didn't have a quarterback.
Well, and
it was injuries all over the place. You got to throw that in there too.
So one thing that I wanted to talk about, and not only obviously like the major sports are it's easy to see, but the one when you're talking about things you're surprised about, how it's trickled down to complete non-revenue sports is amazing to me.
It is.
We have a college softball player making $1 million.
Wouldn't you like to know what? Look at the OU roster, which is loaded with great players.
Yeah.
And they obviously care tons about it. They draw like crazy. They're maybe more popular than a football team. Wouldn't you like to know how much some of those girls are making? Wouldn't it be fascinating?
To your point, why the number one reason, in my opinion, that Oklahoma did not win the national championship this year is they got outbid for Niger Candidate.
Yeah.
If they would have outbid Texas Tech, I think they would have won it again.
Well, you have to look at this too as an athletic department. You're saying, okay, this is a non-revenue sport,
right?
They do draw 4,000, so it's
a net negative. You're not getting it back. I'm sorry.
No, they're
still getting more popular and all this stuff. You're not getting that back.
You're not making enough money to pay for all the travel and all of the equipment, and the coaches get, Gasso gets a lot of money, and she should. You're not making a profit.
No.
So, you're the athletic department, and you go, okay, we can't give you a ton of money unless maybe they can go out and get private donors to not that the university gives them any money anyway, but the athletic department's got to distribute the money that donors give them. And Texas Tech right now is obvious, has money funneling in like crazy. The amount of transfers that they got in the portal for football is unbelievable.
Yeah. They're paying anybody anything right now.
They are. So they are trying to become a power.
Yeah.
And, if the money's there, they can do it. And they're in a conference where if they could get the players, they can win in the Big 12. I mean, they're as good as anybody else. So, and there's a prime example of how this has all changed because of this money. And any university can do it if they get the right people.
Well, any university that has access to funds can do it. Yeah.
And all that is get donors to give you money.
Because
you got to have those donors. But
when Canada went to Texas Tech, because Texas Tech people don't know or care, but they're not a softball school at all.
They were terrible.
And when she went there, everybody was like, what in the hell? And then it comes out, but I was talking, we'll talk about her for just a second more, and then I want to move on to, as fans, what do we really think about? Like, cause I have a lot of grievances with it, but anyway, I was talking, well, this will actually lead into the fan comments. So your nieces, my cousins, they're huge softball fans, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And they hate her, they hate Canada, and they root against her because she left for the money, right?
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
I always I try to explain it, and it feels like it goes one and out the other to him, but it's like, guys, she now is going to make $2 million playing softball
Mhm.
when you add in this coming year. She's already signed for $1 million.
Mhm.
I said, that's more money than she'll ever make her whole life
There
playing
is no pro
softball without
softball.
by 100 times.
Yeah, there's a pro
There's no
softball
money in softball.
No, they don't make any money.
And their argument was like, well, you just stay at Stanford and get paid. I was like, yeah, that is not in the realm of even thought. That Stanford's not going to pay it. Stanford's quarterback probably doesn't make $1 million, right? Like, it's like, yeah, she left her dream school for the money. It's like, it's $2 million. Like, she literally has to do that. Like,
You have to.
and but you get to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, I do understand what you're saying. She was at her school that was a dream for her to go to, but I don't know what they're paying her. It couldn't have been much.
No.
It's like, you have to take it. You just have to. And like, I don't hate on the kids because I would do that in my situation.
Well, I would too. You got to take the money when you can get it, because you're not going to make it as a pro softball player.
Well, think of it like this too. These college kids have an earning, window of 4 years, basically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for women's sports, especially, if you can make that kind of money, that'll be the biggest 4 years of your life that you could earn that kind of money. And for a lot of the men, it's the same thing. Now, obviously, if you're elite, there's way bigger things out there, right?
But not that
Dylan Gabriel?
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, that might be the most money he makes in a year.
I will be willing to.
And that's why I don't hate the kid, because if OU wanted to give him $1 million and Oregon wanted to give him $3 million,
he's crazy. He
has to go, period. Yeah.
Well, if you've got the right advisors telling you. So Curtis makes a good point. For $2 to $3 million, I'd have a new dream school too.
Listen, and this is honest to God, honest to God truth of it. If I was at Oklahoma and I was an athlete, let's say, different world, and I was making $100,000, and even if it was Texas came and said, we'll give you $2 million, I'm going, period. Like what that I can't, you don't have a choice when it's that kind of money. You don't. I'm sorry, you just don't. Exactly. Like say, I'm not going to disclose. Let's say Horse Racing Nation offered to pay me 20 times what I make doing Racing Dudes. Well, bye. Like, I mean, like, I don't understand like the thought process. Like they literally, they have to do it. They have to.
Yeah. You can't blame the players.
No.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
I think they ought to do away with scholarships. I don't think they deserve a scholarship.
Well, I think to my next point and where we'll go, that's a really good segue. I think college athletics has outgrown the institution of a school. You know what I mean by that? Like,
it's minor league NFL.
Yeah, like Oklahoma football is bigger than Oklahoma University, right? And
you might add the entire athletic program is.
It is. And so and that's where it is a lot of places. I really feel like that's the thing.
How long it's going to be till these regular students start turning on these guys?
Probably already happening.
It probably is.
Like
I mean, these guys are not student athletes like the rest of them. You have to wonder, let's say one of them gets hurt and they decide to sit out the rest of the year. They even go to class. They may not.
I don't know. You'd have to ask all of our guys that did that last year and see.
All of our receivers who decided to bolt.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how a coach can keep his sanity. I don't know how he's just bouncing off the wall every day. You don't know what's going. I mean, spring practice starts here before long. You don't know who's going to be there and who's not. There'll be a surprise or two.
And honestly, like, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, I know they're getting paid out the gazoo, so that's one thing, but still.
So my problem is like, as just a fan, I don't even like, I don't know. You almost feel irrelevant because they're basically what they do. They cater to the people that are going to donate money, basically.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if you don't donate money, they kind of look at you like, well, you're one of the reasons why we're not very good. Like, how many times have you heard an Oklahoma media member over the last 2 or 3 years go, well, instead of complaining, why don't you donate? He's going to take you guys to help. And it's like, that's just the weirdest thing. Like, so our tickets and our, merchandise we buy, and that it's almost like you're telling me that doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to market to
no money from me. I would never give them that's their problem. They got to figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't make enough money to screw with that. That's ridiculous. You know what? If you got to buy a team, and that's what you do now. You do.
You have
the innocence is gone. It's
yeah. I don't know.
Everybody hates the Yankees. Everybody hates the Dodgers because they buy their players. Yeah. Well, what's the difference?
No, it's the
same stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, to Manlow's point, there was a lot of this going on where players were like, hey, now we're in the playoff. So also we could hit the portal now if we're backups or whatever, and then you're screwed with getting injury. Or there was a lot of rumors going around. It's like, well, you paid us for X amount of games. Now we're in the playoffs. We need a bonus. We need more. Nico was a huge rumor that he almost didn't play in the playoff game.
Well, he's obviously a creep. So
yeah, but this is not okay. He's gonna get the scapegoat here, right? He's gonna because he's that high profile thing. Right. He's one of 500 that probably have done things like that.
Well, I also say this could work in reverse too. You're getting paid for so many games. You don't play the bowl game, you get cut. You get a cut.
Yeah. And that gets kind of like, how can we live in both worlds where we're paying these guys and it is a thing.
Well, they're not getting paid by the hour.
I think the biggest thing that they've got to do, they've got to do one of two things has to be done as soon as possible. And I mean, one I think is realistic, and I don't really know, honestly, actually, if either one of them is realistic, but they've got to have some kind of contractual obligations to this thing, where you're signing for more than 1 year.
Yeah,
they just have to, because that's my biggest issue as a fan. Like, I could almost get over the fact that, hey, you bought all these players. Yeah, whatever, it happened. What I could get over it, but
anyway,
I hate going and watching a bunch of guys, and then a day after the season's over, 4 or 5 of those guys that I really liked are somewhere else. And
absolutely.
I could stomach it if I knew it was coming. Like, here's a list of the free agents we're going to have this year. And it's like, okay, I get that. But just, they're gone.
Yeah.
It's like when we lost, like, I finally got, like, not finally, but I really liked Dylan Gabriel. That second season, man, I really liked him. Great. And not all, it's like the next day he's gone and he's for another team. And I'm like, what is going on?
He's the quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't get close to him like you used to.
Yeah.
They've lost, you used to think, wow, they're playing their butt off because they love playing at Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's
out the door.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself, how many calls are these players getting a night from people? How many offers are feelers are being thrown at them, or they have agents, and it's just insanity. It's it doesn't hurt me near as much when they lose a game.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for the coaches. I do.
Well, I think if you're looking at Oklahoma, just zoom down on it. And I still hold out hope that Venables is going to get it done. And I do think he's a good coach. I don't know about a head coach. I don't know if it's going to work out. But I'm trying to sugarcoat this, but I truly mean what I'm about to say. Based on the situation and how college football was getting ready to evolve, he was the absolute worst person you could hire.
Probably.
Now, I'll give him a ton of credit. He's trying his ass off.
Oh, he is.
Has had to be. He's having to be somebody he doesn't want to be. I guarantee you that.
That's just not the way he wants to coach.
He was the epitome of old school football coach.
Yeah, he was.
They got coached at a big time, or got hired a big time program in a changed world. And
yeah, he came in when it changed.
Mm-hmm.
And he was from Dabo, and Dabo is starting to change a little bit. He's got some transfer portal guys this year that are going to be major contributors.
Yep.
Well, he's evolving a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, they're going to be really good. they're pretty loaded.
Yep.
So yeah, he came in at a time where he's a new head coach. He's got to adjust all that, and then he's got all this other crap that he didn't believe in.
Yep.
And he thought he could get kids to be loyal, and they're just not anymore. Nope. They're not.
Nope.
And it's high school recruiting. God, that was always a pain in the ass. Anyway, think what it is now. God.
Oh yeah. He said so many things working against him. Again, I do think they're ready. I do think they've made it.
Good luck.
Huh?
He's due for some good luck.
He's had a lot of bad luck. That's been part of it, yeah, as well. They've lost some games that were just like crazy, but it's crazy. What's crazy to me is I feel like they are in the best position they've been in since he got there right now. And I know they're coming off a horrible year, but everything is in place that wasn't in place from the back end of it. Like it's all laid out, right?
They have more depth. Their defense looks solid.
I'm not even talking about personnel as much as the front office is built. The NIL is there. They can go get guys.
Now they've got to hope that
he can coach.
Well, the other thing is too, is the quarterback that they got from Washington State, is he good? Is he good enough? If he is, they went out and got a running back from Cal that everybody says is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
If he is, and if the quarterback comes through, and if they can stay away from injuries, my God, their entire receiving core was gone last year. And I think that's the major weakness on the team. I still don't know if they've got a playmaker out there. We'll see. Mm-hmm. But if they can stay healthy at that position, I mean, when your quarterback flops on you, like he did last year, and it wasn't all his fault. He lost all these weapons. They were all hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And the scheme wasn't right. And they were entering the SEC, and the schedule was brutal. And by the way, it is again.
Yeah.
He's fighting that. I mean, you can go 8-4, be really damn good. They can go 8-4 and be really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you look at who they have to play, their last 7 games are all against ranked opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Michigan week 2.
Right.
Which is the biggest game of the year. If they win that game, I think they're going to have a good year. If they don't, I think you're looking 7-5 again.
Well, I mean, I don't know what'll happen, but I do know that and again, the sad reality of it is whether it's him or whether it's the new person they hire, they at least are going to hit the ground running with the idea that everything's in place. I just have to go get these guys and coach. We've got everything really kind of in place here. That to me is it. I don't know. And maybe I'm looking at the glass half full, but I just feel like we took a knife to a gunfight for 3 years, and now we're mad because the guy that had the knife couldn't get it done.
Well, yeah. Now, year 2, everything broke pretty good in year 2. And they probably overachieved when you get right down to it. They probably weren't a 10-win team.
Yeah.
But they did. And I think that's a testament to him.
Yeah.
And they were very good on offense. And they were close to, being 12-0.
Oh, they should have been. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, it took a miracle against Texas, but well, not
Mhm.
really. They played extremely well down there. It wasn't a miracle. Shoot, they went toe to toe with Texas
Yeah,
all
they
day
beat 'em.
long,
They just beat them.
and they did. And then last year the injuries and the quarterback flopped, and uh, you know you just have to forget about last year.
Yeah.
I think if he goes 8-4, I don't think they'll fire him. I don't.
I don't think they should.
No, I don't think they will.
People are gonna think I'm crazy. I look at this as like this is like year one for him. I really do, because I
think that's fair. And
I remember when we put like we got a GM and we got all this infrastructure and we were like, wow, this is awesome. And then you look around and it's like, oh, all these schools have had that for like multiple years.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like, what if let's just take any NFL team. Take the Chiefs, since they're close enough. They're closest to us, right?
Mhm.
Pretend Andy Reid had to make every decision that went on in the football offices. Like that's kind of what Oklahoma's doing.
Exactly.
And now I understand that it's too extreme, but that's kind of what it was.
No, it is what's going on, because you're paying the players and you're assembling a roster, and you have to decide how much money do you give all these guys. And the coach can't do that. He doesn't have time. He cannot do all that.
Like I said, 99% of coaches, that's something they can't do that.
No,
like they can't. How a coach is wired, that is not something they deal with.
No.
Why do you think almost every pro franchise, minus a few that have a GM/coach, but most of them have a coach and they have a GM? And if you interview the coach, they goes, I have a little bit of input, but I let the GM do his thing, and then I coach them when they get here.
They all have a GM. Exactly. Some of them, the coach has some control over the personnel. Like Belichick had final say in New England, but he wasn't the GM. He probably had final say on who are we going to go get. You guys take care of how much you're going to pay him. I bet he didn't have anything to do with that.
Well, no, he's not in contract negotiations.
No. But he had final say between this player and this player, where most franchises, the GM takes care of that.
Yeah.
Now the coach has input, no question, but the final say, they don't. So
I think Pedlo's kind of right. He said, I don't see agents would. I don't see how in the world, if I'll say it right, how in the world agents would let it get to contracts or a CBA. It would have to be every school, and this is why I think it's far-fetched. It'd have to be every school, basically, or at least the major conferences coming together and putting your foot down. Now, look, that has happened in all pro sports, but baseball, really, where they put their foot in. That's why you see lockouts or strikes.
Yeah,
but
there's salary caps too.
Yeah,
and they need to do this.
Like Rob's saying, it's like that's asking racetracks. I mean, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is this.
Probably right is what I'm saying.
I think you're right too. The other thing is this: as long as the universities are not having to supply the money, they don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the OU president, but I listen to him a lot. I'm thinking, he don't give a shit. Yeah, I really like him.
I think
as long as the money's flowing in and all that, he's okay.
Oh, I think he cares. I don't.
He does. He wants to win. He wants to win. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, I don't think he's going to be a leader in trying to rock the boat.
I don't know.
I
think we see him a little differently. I don't know.
I don't know, but they need to get to some sort of regulation in this, and there's just not. So this is very good too.
Yeah. So Manlo says, for those listening on the podcast version, the uncomfortable truth is you only need the SEC and Big Ten to do it. They're calling all the shots behind the scenes. I agree. I think there's been rumored for a while now that that kind of the major college football conferences are going to get away from the NCAA and have their own thing. Under that model, you could see something happen that's a little bit different than what we have now.
well, they're now wanting a 16-team playoff, but 8 of the 16 slots were going to be from the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah, right.
If
Yeah.
I'm in the other conference, I'm not going
Yeah.
along with that.
I also wanted to bring up Curtis's comment here. He thinks we've seen the peak of college sports and these kids' salaries are a bubble right now. So basically saying maybe they're privately funded now, but if the economy turns, which could happen any day or could not. But what do you think about that? Because like you said, you mentioned it, the university's not paying for it.
No.
What do you, I mean, when does that donor say, you know what, why do I care so much about this and stop doing
you have to wonder, but don't they use it for a tax write-off?
Well, I don't know what they use it for. I
have to think that. And
can I ask you a serious question? And I've asked myself this. Let's say you were worth $100 million, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you give the university $3 million so they had a quarterback every year?
No.
I wouldn't either. I don't know why people do it.
I may donate $3 million to scholarships.
Right.
For students, regular students.
Yeah.
I might do that.
I don't think I'd do that either.
As a tax write-off.
Okay. Maybe.
But no. $3 million for a quarterback. I don't know whether he can play or not. Why would you do something that stupid?
Like Dave, his donor fatigue is becoming real for sure, according to Pedlo there. And I would certainly, as he says he's heard that, I would certainly think so.
Well,
okay, here's what I would assume. If it's all going good, probably less of that. But not everybody can win, right? So the schools that don't, I can see that being a big problem.
Well, see, these guys, I don't know. Let's say you donate $3 million, and I would assume you get to go in the locker room and you get to do some stuff. Is that what they want?
I don't know.
I don't.
Like Dave Portnoy, for example, he has pledged that Michigan will never go without a quarterback again because he will fund it.
I don't know how that means so much to people. I
don't either. And I feel like I am a fanatic and I would not do that. I don't care that much, I guess. Maybe I'm not a fanatic. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's nice to win. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I don't want to win that way.
Like I said, I would rather it's like, hey, we need a new facility. I might contribute to that, maybe.
Yeah. Let's improve that dinosaur of a baseball field.
But I need $3 million for this kid to come play quarterback, and next year he may go somewhere else.
Like I said, I might have some scholarships and say, hey, put my name on it. Divide that up. 15 kids get that.
At Ole Miss, you can run on the field with the team for like $20,000.
Yeah,
how about that? Would you pay that?
Well, I couldn't run on the field, maybe walk, but
why
would you? Do you idolize these people? That's the other thing. I mean, they just want to. They're wannabes. They want to be with them.
I guess. Yeah.
I want to be part of that.
I wouldn't do that.
No. I don't know.
All right. With that being said, I did want to pull this up. So Phil Steele is the magazine that I get. Now, I have not bought it yet. I'm going to go buy it maybe today, actually. Who knows? But anyway, so this is his top 136. He ranks all 136 teams. So this is my first look at this. You can find this online. This is free. He's got Penn State #1. I was shocked by that.
I've been reading it just a little bit. I bought not Phil Steele, but another one that I like. Phil Steele's too hard to read. He's got too many abbreviations. I get all about. I think he's the best, but he's got too many abbreviations. Anyway, most of them have Penn State either 1 or 2. And when you look at what they have coming back, and they were, underrated, really. They were close last year.
Mm-hmm.
They got their top running backs are back. Their receivers are back. They're good on defense.
Yeah.
So, a lot of them have them #1. I've not seen Notre Dame #2.
See, well, I will admit I have not looked at a thing yet, but I'm going to definitely do that starting this week.
I I haven't gotten into it much, but
Notre Dame number 2. Yeah.
I'm not
Texas.
seeing that. Texas is number 1 in most polls.
Okay. Alabama or Texas 3, Alabama 4. Alabama champion Ohio State 5.
Yeah, Alabama's not in the top 5 in most that I've seen.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like, go ahead.
You mentioned Clemson. They're supposed to be good.
Highly.
Okay.
Well, they're in the ACC. They're probably going to dominate that league.
Yeah.
So they're going to win a lot of games, and they're Clemson.
Yep.
They open the season with LSU, and that's going to be a huge game.
Is that Peach Bowl game or whatever?
I don't know what the hell it is, but
game in Atlanta.
Look at 8, 9, and 10. No one has those 3 at 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, so Georgia 7, and to Manlow's point, he's pretty high. He said on Oklahoma this year. Oklahoma's 8, A&M 9, Florida 10. That seems nuts. All 3 of them.
The only way Oklahoma could get in the top 10, they're going to have to go like 10-2.
Yeah,
I just don't. They were 6 and 7 last year. They're playing the same schedule.
Yeah.
Are they going to go to South Carolina and win? South Carolina's getting hyped as a top 15 team.
I can't confident. The last time I watched Oklahoma, they lost to Navy. So the last time I watched Oklahoma, a fullback that I probably about as fast as went like 98 yards on him.
That's true.
So how can I sit here and say they're going to beat
a 6 and 7 team that lost to Navy?
They lost to
an
Navy.
SEC team that lost to Navy.
They lost to Navy. Not only did they lose to them, just the way they lost. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But
no, there's no reason to argue.
I will start them out.
I don't know. We'll talk about their schedule when we.
We'll get to it.
Their schedule is so tough. Oregon on this list is rated much lower than what they are, but I think that's a realistic thing because they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah. He's got Michigan ahead of Oregon here. Let's look at Arizona State. They were in the playoff last year. He's got them 15. Miami 14. I think that's crazy.
Indiana's not going to be in the top 25. I'll bet you. I haven't seen their schedule though.
Haven't seen it either, but that seems too high. Just trying to see.
Illinois is another one.
I guess Tennessee with no quarterback. Is that what they're thinking? Number 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
USC 21. Are they supposed to be better?
They're USC. Sometimes you get hyped because who you are.
I guess, yeah.
A 6 and 7 Kansas State, you think would be in the top 10?
No.
Oklahoma's in there because who they are.
Right. Yeah. Ole Miss at 20.
His is different than what I've seen. I've seen a couple. His is, but he's usually pretty good. Wait a minute, Rob. It's not the IU hate.
Realistic. You gotta be realistic.
I was a very big supporter of IU last year. I thought they deserved to be where they were. I just don't think they can do it again.
Texas Tech at 25. So there's one of those NIL schools.
We'll see.
Here's for Paul out there, Iowa State 28, and for Dennis, Louisville 29 on his list here.
Yep.
For the rest of our family, Arkansas 33. That seems higher than most would rank.
Yeah, most of them's got them in the 40s.
Okay. Iowa, your favorite team, 31.
Well, they'll be right in there.
Oh, I wish when I think Derek was here. I think his name was Derek from last week. Nebraska, 35. This makes me want. I got to go buy this book today. This makes me want to look at it.
Vanderbilt at 38. Give me
Vanderbilt at 38. Well, I guess that quarterback's back.
So what? Do you really think they're going to be 38? What'd they end up? 7-5?
Yeah, I think
Which
so.
is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. That's
maybe
great.
7-6. Was it 7-6?
Yeah, I mean they collapsed down the stretch, but anyway, that's fantastic.
We pig, or whatever you say.
He's got Missouri much lower than most do.
Oh, I love that. Missouri 43. Hopefully they're 143.
Because that'll be a win, maybe. We might be able to beat them.
I would love to see that. Rutgers, Minnesota. I'm just going through here now. Kind of Kansas at 49, Kentucky 50, Colorado 53. I guess he's not expecting much from Dion this year. Phil Pedlo asked where North Carolina is. 57. Bill Belichick's squad.
That is going to be a fascinating thing to watch.
Is it not? I mean, it really is.
I think they're on national TV on Labor Day.
Oh, great.
It's
Love
either
it.
Sunday night of Labor Day weekend. They're by themselves. I can't remember who they play. Somebody decent.
And that's the thing about it. Once the actual playing of the game, when that happens, I love it because it's still great, but it's everything else around it. Let's see. Syracuse for Ricky Pasternak there at 69.
I forgot they won 10 games last year.
Syracuse, yeah.
Yeah. But they lost to everybody. Now, I was just glanced at it, little synopsis of most of the teams. And because of Ricky, I did look at it. And they let a lot of guys go.
Did they really?
They didn't go out and re-sign them. And they were some good players. So I don't know whether they don't have any money. It kind of points to that to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Oklahoma State at 75.
Yeah,
You really think they'll be?
I don't know. They were really bad. But,
I know that, but he has a way of.
Yeah.
When they're not very good, they end up being better.
So if they are bad again, I think he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Okay. So
well, let me back up. He's gone if he wants.
I don't know. I think Oklahoma State will move on if it's that bad again.
He's been there so long. He may decide I've had enough. But here's the deal: they have to fire you now because you got to get your buyout.
Well, that's true too. Yeah.
You can't resign because the way I understand it, you don't get it if you resign.
So I think that's going to save some coaches because you have to. And OU was talking about this last year, and again, I'm torn, but Venables had a huge buyout, and they were like, it's easier to keep him and use that money you would use to buy him out and get him players to see if he can turn it around.
That's true.
That's kind of a new thing that's going to be thought of. Not really new, but new in the last 3 or 4 years.
Why you give these guys buyouts? I have no idea.
Insane. Just trying to look at some of schools here. See, I was looking for Purdue. I haven't seen them yet. For Rob,
surely
Purdue 106.
What do you think, old Rob boy?
It's not good. It's not good, old Rob boy. Not good.
They got a new coach.
Yeah. Not good.
I think they're better.
106. Overrated.
Oh
man. Okay. I think are they the lowest Power 5?
Keep going. They may be.
Yeah, these are all smaller
Congratulations.
schools. Yeah, they will be the lowest. I did want to point out.
I'll bet they're not. There's Missouri State, brand new Division I.
I did want to point out, yes, we do have a Division I football school just an hour from the house, Missouri State. That
can't have a winning season in a 1AA or whatever it is.
People that don't know Missouri State, they are one of the worst Division I AA or FCS schools out there, except for when Bobby Petrino was there. He got them to be decent.
That's why I had Bobby ranked in my top 15 college coaches. He won there.
Yes.
And it took him a year to do it.
Yes. He turned it around. Of course, he left.
Made the playoffs.
Yes. But they went back to sucking again. Yes. Bobby Petrino was the coach.
Left.
And they are the Bears. Yes.
Missouri State. Bears. That's right.
So
overrated. They are so full of shit. They think they're so good in everything and they can't win anything.
No, they're not good. Their athletic program's terrible. They're not good. They've been good in women's basketball. Yes.
And their baseball's been good in the past.
Yeah, and baseball. That's true.
They've had some big time major league players play. Like Ryan Howard that played for Phillies and was so good.
Yes.
He played at Missouri State. They've had some pretty good major league players come out of there.
They have, but they haven't had just a ton of team success. I know they've been good, but not like a crazy good level.
No.
So, but 135 is where they'll debut. That's exciting. You can play as Missouri State on NCAA football. That'll be a good team to rebuild. You start your dynasty with them. Yeah, everybody does it. I do it too. I'm going to start with Missouri State this year. I think that.
What though? When you look at the conference they were in with North Dakota State,
Yeah.
South Dakota State, Northern Iowa. There's some other good schools. Illinois State's usually pretty good. There's some others. That was a tough FCS program. They may be in a conference that's worse than the one they were in.
They might be. I'm going to look at that because that would be interesting to look at. Yes. Also, another team that's going to start, and Curtis Manilow says I'm a Delaware Blue Hens guy. That's another great team to rebuild their conference as well.
Okay, so they went to D1.
Yes, Missouri State and Delaware D1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what league Delaware got in.
They're in the same one as Missouri State.
So they're in Conference USA?
Yep. Now, this is what I would say, though. I bet Delaware's a little bit better than Missouri State.
Delaware's been good in that level. Yeah.
All right. I got to look this up. I got to go buy the magazine. Okay, we got to look their schedule up to give it to the test here for you. Okay, they start off. It'll be a tough opener. They play USC to start the season.
Lincoln's he's starting off with a biggie, isn't he?
So they go USC. They go at Marshall next. SMU will kick off the season.
That SMU is coming to Springfield.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Okay, that place holds about 15,000.
Yeah,
I thought to be Division I, you had to have a stadium that hold 30,000. It don't.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
It used to be.
Some of these schools don't.
And they'll have maybe 7,500 there.
No, I bet they sell it out.
For SMU, they might.
It's SMU. It's their first ever game in Division I, where they'll have 7,500 as every game after that. But they'll show up for that one. I guarantee you.
Division I, yeah. UT Martin, they can win that one.
Okay, and then now you're getting into the conference. So Western Kentucky,
no,
Middle Tennessee,
they're pretty good.
New Mexico State,
they could win that.
Florida International,
they're awful.
Liberty,
bye.
UTEP.
They're not any good. They could win. That's at home. Kennesaw
State.
They were one of the worst teams in
And
football.
Louisiana Tech. That's the schedule.
I bet they won just as many as they did.
Let me ask you something. How many of those teams that I just listed off within the conference would North Dakota State beat?
Every one of them, probably.
I don't know. Maybe not Liberty. I don't. Liberty's had
if it was up in the Fargo Dome, they'd beat them.
Oh, they'd beat them for sure.
Well, South Dakota State's as good as they are. So
right. I think both those teams are better than.
They could win that conference. They could win that conference.
North Dakota State would probably be a double-digit favorite against New Mexico State, UTEP, and Kennesaw State. Seriously,
it is going to be interesting to watch that. But if I was North Dakota State, I'd stay right where I am and win national championships because you ain't going to win them in D1.
That seems to be what they're going to do. Yeah,
and that's why I don't know why Delaware would want to. I don't know why they would want to switch, but
I don't either. I honestly, you're gonna think I'm crazy, and I'm not saying it's gonna be successful. I could see why Missouri State would do it because
I can't too. There's no
they're
reason
not winning shit anyway, so you might as well say you're a D1 school. You know?
Yeah. I don't know whether they get any kind of extra money for being D1. They might.
Oh, I think being in that conference will have to pay out more than the conference they were in.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think that was, but I mean. Realistically, they are not any worse off than they were.
No, not if they're in that.
They were in.
Yeah, they can beat
South Dakota's pretty good. North Dakota's pretty good. I mean, those teams are always pretty good too. They're in a tough league.
Yeah.
And I think there's Youngstown State in there. I think they were.
So okay, this is interesting. I should have known you would have this the way you look at all the rankings. But Manilow is saying that I'm trying to find this top 25 again so we could see. No big deal. I'm on the wrong thing now. So he's saying that North Dakota State would be between 55 and 70th in the FBS according to the Vegas power ratings, which they're not the end all be all, but they are a good gauge of what you might see. Yeah. So with that being said, I was just going to look and see how many of these teams they'd be ranked ahead of, and I think it'd be a bunch.
A bunch.
Yeah. So
a lot of the Sun Belt teams. You don't think they could beat Louisiana Monroe?
Definitely.
Sam
Yeah.
Houston State?
I'm going to put them. I got it back up here. So the 55th ranked team is Mississippi State. So that kind of gives you an idea. So Phil Steele views them as, Mississippi State, Arizona, North Carolina, Tulane, UTSA, Virginia, that type at Boston College, Northwestern. That's kind of where they would fall, somewhere in there.
They could beat some of those teams on a good day.
They probably would be favored over everybody in Conference USA. Literally everybody.
I mean, they probably would have to go to Mississippi State. They may not win down there, but they might.
Well, no, yeah, no. And look, like, for example, I said, Liberty would probably beat them. Liberty's ranked 81st on this Phil Steele.
I don't know that Liberty beat them.
So Mandel's saying they'd probably be a multiple touchdown favorite.
Yeah.
And it's right. So there you go.
But they ain't going to beat the big boys. So
no. Could they win Conference USA? Yes, but
yeah, they could. But so what?
I think from their perspective, it's like we could go win Conference USA or we could win national titles. And I think
no brainer for me. I know which one I'd pick.
I think that's where you're going to fall. Yeah.
Well, because if they're smart, they know they don't have the recruiting base to play the big boys. They just don't.
I can't see how they would have the money.
No.
Well, I can't see how Missouri State would have the money either.
Well, they're not in a good league, so
if you remember it, it seems like they covered the spread because it seems like I cashed on North Dakota State. Yeah, they covered the spread, they didn't win. That was a hell of a game.
One that surprised me last year was Oklahoma State played South Dakota State, and they beat them pretty handily. I think it was last year.
It was maybe 2 years ago, was it? Or was it last year?
I know it was one or the other, but I thought South Dakota State. But it was the first game of the year. Yeah, that makes a difference because you practice all fall, and that's your first opponent, so you're generally ready.
I may be wrong on this. This was either a Thursday night or a Friday night game. I remember vividly watching this game.
Yeah.
And North Dakota State gave them everything they wanted and almost beat them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got anything else?
Iowa. I think they beat Iowa and Iowa State in the past, haven't they? I know they beat one of them.
I think they beat them both.
I wouldn't play them. If I was average. I wouldn't play them, period.
Yeah, Thursday night. That's what I thought. I remember, I think we were on the show Thursday afternoon talking about it, actually. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Anything else?
No.
Good.
Unless you want to go on to something else, or if you're done, then you're done.
No, I think we're good.
I've got a rapid fire thing here.
Okay, we could do that.
Favorites.
Okay.
Like favorite things.
Okay.
So I'm going to see how many of them I think I'll get that you'll say.
Okay.
And you try to see how many you think I will say.
Okay, that sounds fun.
All right, you ready? This won't take long.
That's good.
I'm torn on this one for you. Favorite color? What do you think mine is? Got to be honest.
Oh, what I think yours is? Yours is blue, would be my guess.
I'm going to say yours is red.
Yes.
Okay, so we're 1-1. Good.
All right.
Like I will go in a store and I'm not looking for something blue. I'll buy it blue every time.
I would say blue's my second favorite.
Red's my second favorite.
There you go. All right.
But I don't buy a lot of red. I don't know why. But blue. Yeah, It just stands out to me.
I like blue.
I know the answer to this one.
Hold before you go. Speaking of blue, did you like the new Blues sweater?
You want to know the truth?
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
Jesus. Okay, keep going. I'll get a picture of it.
I'll look at a
picture of it.
I might have seen it.
I'll pull it up while we're playing. Next.
If I have seen it, I didn't care one way or the other. All right. I know the answer to this one. And you do too, I would think.
Okay.
Favorite pizza topping?
Oh, pepperoni for me.
Yeah, obviously.
And sausage for you.
To say it.
Oh, well, you knew it. And I would say sausage for you. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Favorite ice cream flavor? Easy. Chocolate. For you.
No, I hate chocolate.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yes.
What do you pick then? What do you do? Strawberry?
Strawberry.
I should have got that.
You think you're thinking
I
of
should have
something?
got that. I remember that now. I can't believe you don't like chocolate.
Love the confidence of, oh, this is so easy. Chocolate. It's like I would rather. I hate chocolate ice
Who
cream.
doesn't like chocolate ice cream?
Well, I'm guessing that's your answer. Chocolate for you.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
You
I
knew
know. I
that,
don't like it
didn't
very
you?
well. I don't like. No, I don't like it. I don't like it very well.
But you knew that was mine.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fancy ice cream eater at all. Like, I go to Brahms or somewhere, I don't get that fancy stuff very often.
I don't either.
No. I get made fun of because I always get chocolate. Not always.
I have a friend. I got to say this. I have a friend. He you ever go to those? You ever go to like those shaved ice or those snow cone places? They have like 30,000 flavors.
Yeah.
He gets orange.
Oh, really?
So
I probably get grape.
we talk about this all. Heather and I do all the time, and when I see him, I remind him. So we went on. This has been years ago. We went on a double date with him and his wife, and we went to this place. You know, we're getting like tiger's blood and all this stuff, and he goes out. He said, "I want orange," and the guy goes, "What?"
I would probably get grape.
He's like, "You just want orange?" He said, "Yeah." He brings out the syrup bottle. It's he's unscrewing the cap. He's taking the like the little I don't know what you call that thing, the when you open a new bottle or something, you know, the wrapper. He's taking that off. He's like, "I've never made an orange one." Anyway, okay.
I don't know the answer to this one. These are going to get a little harder.
Okay.
Favorite fruit. I'm going to just guess. You probably don't like fruit.
I like fruit.
I'm going to guess a peach.
No.
No? What is it?
No. I got to go with strawberry.
Okay. That's good.
Just like the ice cream.
Yeah. What's mine?
Favorite fruit.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Favorite fruit. I'll go with an apple.
No.
Nope.
No. I love a good peach.
Well, I should have guessed that.
No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
I don't know this one either. I mean, it could be several. I think you obviously know mine. Favorite TV show.
Favorite TV show.
Yeah, mine. That's easy.
For
me,
you is Seinfeld, right?
Well, that's second.
Oh, what's first?
Come on. Andy Griffith.
Oh, Andy Griffith. Yeah. Okay.
God, can't believe this. I don't know. You could have a million. So, what is it? I don't know.
You know, it's hard for me to.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You like a lot of them.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one.
I know you were into The Office a lot.
I guess I would say The Office. Yeah, I guess I would. Almost have to.
Okay.
I watch it all the time. So.
Yeah. Have you watched Schitt's Creek?
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
I love it. Yeah.
I just die laughing at that.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah. Favorite movie star.
Oh, I don't have one. Jeez.
You don't have anybody that you say to yourself, he's in that movie, and that's probably pretty good.
Yours would be Tom Hanks.
That's right. How did you know that?
I don't know.
I hate movies.
Let's see. Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I would go to his because usually they're pretty good.
I don't have anything.
Pretty good.
I don't even name somebody. Who would you name? Who would you guess?
Well, he's the only one I got any interest. I love Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob, yeah, he's pretty good.
Love him.
That wouldn't be my answer though. I don't.
No, I don't like Tom Cruise.
I like him in some stuff.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I don't know that I could say
he's had some dogs, but some of them.
Yeah, so many dumb ones, you know.
I know, but some of them.
They are. Some of them are classic.
American classics.
Yeah.
You like Will Ferrell. I don't.
I wouldn't say he's my number one, though.
And I think you like Jim Carrey, and I don't like him.
No, I don't like Jim Carrey.
You don't? Okay.
No. Vince Vaughn, I liked him, and he had a good run there.
He's
Yeah,
okay.
I like him.
All right.
Okay.
Well, this will be hard too. No,
Okay.
no way we'll get in either one of them. But do you have a favorite line from a movie? I do.
I'm gonna guess yours,
What?
and if I'm right, I'm gonna be
You're a
excited
genius. You're a
because I was
genius.
just talking to somebody about a line that you love from a movie. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Now you're going to ask why I was talking about a line that you like from a movie.
Well, I guess I ought to. I'm thinking you might have been talking to John White about it.
That's right. I was. I'm going to go from the movie Jaws.
Oh God, you got it.
And I'm going to go. Well, I don't know exactly when he said we need a bigger boat or something like
My
that.
favorite of all time.
That is the line.
Yeah. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat. So John White. This is so funny. He went to like an orchestra at the Hollywood Bowl that played all the old like Jaws themed music, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a big picnic area outside the Hollywood Bowl. I guess I've never been there. And this guy had like he had a picnic and he had a balloon with like a shark balloon attached to the picnic. And you got to know John White, if he sees something, he'll talk to anybody and just go up to and start talking to him. Right. So he goes up to the guy. He goes, it was a picnic table. He hit the picnic table. He goes, you're going to need a bigger picnic table like that, you know? And I said, that's so funny because he said that. He said that to the guy. I said, it's so funny because that's my dad's favorite line. He said it a million times. So there you go.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
It's so funny. You
I have
brought
another good one. A very underrated movie that I loved. It's an old one. Did you ever see Cool Hand Luke?
Cool Hand Luke. I've never seen it.
Oh, it's good. Famous quote is, "What we've got here is a failure to communicate."
Yeah, I've heard that quote before. That is a good quote.
That was such a great movie. Paul Newman. He's one of my favorites. Of course, he's dead, but he's one of my favorites.
Who is that? Who was it?
Paul Newman. Paul Newman.
Okay. Yeah.
I loved Robert Redford too.
Yeah, I like Robert Redford.
Back in the old days.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Favorite snack? We've talked about these.
Favorite snack? To me, it's like any kind of chips.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Although I've got in the summer, I like an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Not in the winter though.
Yeah.
And if you've never had, ladies and gentlemen, if you never had a Fat Boy ice cream sandwich, you're missing out.
Agree.
God, it is just awesome.
Very good.
They're awesome. This is a really good one.
Okay, let's end on this one because I got to show you the uniforms and I got to go. So,
okay. Favorite memory from your grandparents?
Oh God,
something that just you never will forget from your.
Oh, that's too hard. So many.
Well, it can be general. It doesn't have to be specific, and it can be something general.
I would say, like both, my granddad and grandma, they loved like Silver Dollar City. They just freaking either they loved it or they just like to take us. I don't know, but we would go like 10 or 12 times a year. I felt like
they had to get their money out of their pass.
Maybe that was it, but that's the thing. I mean, that or like Sunday mornings he would pick me up, we'd go for a ride and we'd go over to his house and watch wrestling. That's probably I
figured that would be the number one.
That's probably number one.
Yeah, you got to think of need time to think about it. But
that would be number one because that was every Sunday. And like I said, we would basically we'd drive around for like 20 minutes and we'd go to Casey's and I'd get candy or something, and then we would go back to his house. Yeah. Their house, I should say.
Yeah. My grand dad, who you never met, he was dead before you came along. He was like Pappy, in a way. Not just some of the things he would say. He didn't live his life like Pappy did, but I used to go fishing with him, and it was so much fun to go fishing with him.
Yeah,
he would just say the funniest shit, and it was just I just died laughing all the time. It was just. I can't remember some of the stuff he said, but God.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, he used to like to set a lot of people call them trot lines, but these were actually limb lines where you just put a fish on the bottom of a hook and hooked it up to a limb, and a catfish would come along and you try to catch them. You just went back the next morning and just see if you had one on there. And we would go out and catch the bait to put on there. And he always had perch. And he was picky as shit. He had a little yardstick. And if they weren't an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches, he'd go, throw that son of a bitch back. We'd sit out there all day, catch 100 of them. We threw about 90 of them back. No, throw that son of a bitch back. And then the sun perch that have the yellow on it, or the orange on it, he'd call those red bastards. Another one of them damn red bastards. Throw that bastard. It's just, God. Anyway.
Good stuff.
Good time. So you're going to show me the jersey.
All right. There it is.
Well, you got to blow that up. It looks exactly the same to me.
I
Isn't that like their alternate jersey kind of?
Sort of, yeah. So the home jersey is a lot like that Winter Classic jersey from like 17.
The blue's a lot lighter.
Yes, a lot.
I love it.
The white is going to be.
I love that.
Yeah, going to be good. And then the current jersey,
like the old jerseys.
Yes, yeah, they're going back to the old colors. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I will enjoy it.
Absolutely love it. That navy was just too navy for me.
Yeah, so the navy jersey will be the third jersey now.
Oh, I love that white one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to get one quick.
Oh, I remember when they first came in the league, they wore those. Yeah.
They're going to be nice. They're not for sale yet, but they're going to be. So, yeah. Can't wait. I got to get a white one. If
I was you, I'll give you some advice. I would just get a blank one.
Nope.
I would, and then have your mom.
No.
When you get a player that you think's going to be there a while.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
That's the thing about hockey jerseys. They're not valuable after they trade them.
No.
So you're getting a Bennington? Is that what you're going to do?
No, I won't get a Bennington. I've got 3 different ones of his. I don't need another one.
So who are you going to get?
Yeah, I haven't decided yet. I don't know.
Well, who's the contenders?
Robert Thomas is definitely in contention.
Okay.
I love Holloway, but he's a free agent at the end of the year, so I'm not sure. I'm not gonna get him.
Stay away from that.
I really like Jimmy Snuggerud, but I don't know. Too young.
It's too soon.
Too soon. So it may be Thomas. It may be Thomas's time.
Well, he'll stay there a couple more years at least, probably.
Yeah, but no, I mean, listen, I'm a fanatic, right? So I can't get a blank one. So, look, I don't really care, like, to have ones that they don't play there anymore. It doesn't bother me.
Well, the problem with a hockey jersey, we've discussed this before, especially when you live around here. If you wear a hockey jersey out in public, you just draw too much attention. It's like, what the hell are they doing with that on?
Like,
you don't wear it enough.
No, you don't. But I view mine as like badges of honor. That's how I view mine. Like, it's a privilege to put it on.
All right.
I've got Tarasenko and I've got O'Reilly.
No, that's okay.
I've got 3 different Benningtons. I've got Jack Eichel in a Vegas 3rd jersey.
You have a Vegas one, okay?
I do love that one, and I've got Barbashev, a Vegas Barbashev jersey.
Oh God!
In the gold, I like that one too.
Oh,
and then I've got
prettier in person than they are.
You need to see it
because on TV they're not.
It's nice. And then I've got Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk's home jersey. I love
Panthers.
it too. Yes,
that'd be pretty.
I like it. Yeah. So
now
the white blues, that'll be next. All right.
Man, I like those a lot.
Yes, they're gonna be nice.
All right.
Okay.
You got a show coming?
I've got the show tonight at 7.
Okay.
7 to 7:30 tonight, Central Time on Sirius. So I got to do that.
Okay.
Other than that, no.
All
right, guys. Thanks everybody for joining us. We'll be back next week. Lakers off coming up tomorrow. I think Magic Mike will be Friday. I think they'll be back. And then, like I said, if you want to listen to, I think now actually that's only on Sirius. It is not on the VSiN YouTube page. So if you have Sirius, go ahead and check that out as well tonight. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
This is due to Bet Sports.